Hi, my name is Melinda, and I am not new to Substack as a reader. I don't remember when I joined Substack, but I know I've been on there for some time. But I am new as a writer. I have recently started my Substack as a writer, and I am learning as I go. Thanks to YouTube, I'm able to learn how to do this, and this is my first time making a video. I haven't done any lives yet. I haven't done a podcast yet. I've never done a podcast. I've certainly made videos for other things, and I've never really gone live on anything either. I think I might have done it once with an English tutoring platform years ago. I have a lot of experience with that, with English tutoring. But so I started this Substack, which is called Rebuilt from Here. And it is about addiction, abuse, trauma, boundaries, recovery from difficult things in life, self care, finding yourself, kind of a variety of things, a smorgasbord of things that are related to each other. They all have to do with mental health and psychology, which are passions of mine. I got my bachelor's in psychology in 2017 from United University of Massachusetts, Boston, when I was living in Massachusetts. I live in North Carolina now, so still in the US, but in the Southeast rather than the Northeast where I was born and raised. And I've been here since 2018 in North Carolina. So this has become home. And Massachusetts will always be home as well, but now North Carolina is more my home. And I experienced my first marriage where I had my son in Massachusetts. I am also currently married here in North Carolina. And this time around, I have a much better and healthier marriage than I did when I was married the first time. The reason that I'm so passionate about this, about all of these things that I'm writing about, is because of my personal experiences and my son's personal experiences. We went through so much because of my ex husband, his father. He was verbally abusive, emotionally, psychologically, mentally. Eventually, he became physically abusive with my son as he got older. He was never really physically abusive with me. He never put his hands on me. He threw hot food at me once. That's the closest he ever came to throwing anything, or, well, he did throw things. He would make the whole atmosphere feel so uncomfortable. I would feel like I was walking on eggshells. And I'm sure that my son felt the same way, even though whether how well he could articulate it is hard to say because he's autistic. He's high functioning, so he can talk, but I know that there is a part of him that always will love his dad, and that's okay. That's his dad. But I am grateful that I don't have to deal with him anymore. Now that my son is an adult, even though he's not a regular adult, I don't have to have anything to do with his relationship with his dad. I can just have my relationship with him, and he can have his relationship with his dad, and that's that. But when he was growing up, his dad and I had to try to work together so that we could both be in his life. And we went through a lot because of that. And I never would have wanted to keep my son away from his dad. I don't think that would have been the right thing to do. I think kids need their parents, whether they have same sex or opposite sex, or whether they're being raised by grandparents, aunts, uncles, older siblings. We have all kinds of families here in the US. So, whatever family a child has, they need the adults in their life, and they need other positive adult role models in their lives, whether from school or other family or family friends, good people that you can trust. Sometimes that's hard to find. The fact is, my son developed a food addiction, and he developed another addiction as well that I won't mention. It's more personal, but or maybe I will in the future. I don't know, but I'm not going to mention it right now. But the food addiction has had a big part in his life, especially because he's also got type 1 diabetes. Now, I will disclose that I have a variety of health issues myself. So this is not just talking about my son's health issues. I have at least three. Sometimes I've had doctors say more, so it's so hard to tell because autoimmune illnesses like to work together against you. I don't know. They just seem to, if you get one, you seem to get more. And so I have at least three that I know are consistent diagnoses. Um, there's dermatomyositis, which I'm sure you've never heard of. I hadn't either until I was diagnosed with it. Scleroderma, you may have heard of that. And discoid lupus. May or may not have heard of it. Maybe lupus, but maybe not necessarily discoid lupus. The main thing to know about these three autoimmune illnesses is that they all affect my skin, and one of them affects, or two of them affect my muscles. So I have different challenges because of that. And I also have other health issues. I have lymphedema, that's swelling. I have it in my legs, ankles, and feet. I have uh, a hernia. So my stomach looks like I'm pregnant all the time, but I'm not. All these things may be connected to my autoimmune stuff. I don't know. I have type 2 diabetes. I'm on the lower end of the A1C, so my blood sugars aren't crazy high, but they do get somewhat high sometimes. My son has had much higher sugars than I've had. And type 1 is more challenging than type 2 because you have no insulin. So he has to get insulin every time he eats when he wakes up in the morning. He has to have long acting insulin, short acting insulin, and we have to count his carbs or carbohydrates with everything he eats and calculate how much insulin he has to have. And because of his food addiction, we have to keep his food locked up. We have to keep his insulin locked up because we don't want him to give himself too much insulin and we don't want him to sneak food. Not to say that he may not find other ways to sneak food when he goes out and he's with friends and he might do things he shouldn't be doing. We don't know, but we can't just keep him locked up in the house all the time. He doesn't have a regular life. It's hard for him to work or go to school because we don't know what he may get into if we're not there to help him. So he stays home. So he has at least some freedom where he can go out in the neighborhood and he's friends with many friends and he has many friends. He's friendly with a lot of the neighbors and he uses the pool since it's summertime. As we do have a pool here, we live in a mobile home community and he has a hard time sometimes. He recently admitted that he's been depressed because he wants to have a different life. He wants to be able to do things more than what he's doing. And unfortunately, we just don't know how to make that happen. We don't know if he's ever going to overcome these issues and if he's ever going to be able to live on his own. He can have friends, and he's never had a girlfriend, and I hope he'll be able to do that, and maybe live with a friend or roommate someday or have a wife, have a child. I don't know. My spouse and I, and he also is taken care of by someone that was his stepmother who was also married to his father after me, and she became his guardian after he spent time in a hospital to get help with his food addiction. His dad gave up his rights and she took over. So, between my spouse and his guardian and we try to work together to take care of him. And we all live in the same home with his guardian's three young children because they lost their home. So he used to go back and forth between the two homes, and now we're all here in the same home. And it's been that way for over 2 years now. So we have had our ups and downs with that. Sometimes we clash about how to take care of our kids, but we have managed to make it work for the most part. And I don't know how long it will be in this situation, but this is the reality that we live with. And so I made this Substack because I know what it's like to deal with issues like abuse and trauma and self care. Well, self care isn't an issue, but the importance of self care, the importance of boundaries, the importance of self love, the reality of living with health issues and a variety of health issues, and the reality of having a child who's an adult, but in many ways is still like a child or like a teenager or an adolescent. It's hard to say what stage he's at when it comes to different things. Sometimes he can feel like an adult, and other times he feels like a child, and other times like a teenager, other times like an adolescent. It's like he's every age all in one. But that's why I created this Substack, because I want to help people who have been through what I've been through, what my son has been through. I really have a passion for this, and I've been trying to figure out a way to grow, to start a business, to do something that's meaningful to me, to do something that can really help other people. And there's so many choices. It's completely overwhelming. And it's been so hard to figure out what I should do. And honestly, I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure out how to be the best person, the best spouse, the best mom, the best Christian, the best family member to other family, the best friend, the best church member, just everything. It's an ongoing process, a lifelong process, I think. So I am doing this to help others, to help myself, to help my son. I just want to do good and help and do something. And I think we go through things because we're meant to use those things to help others. There has to be a purpose. And I believe that's the purpose. I don't know what my purpose is. I'm still trying to figure it out. But I think that this may be one of them. I think my faith has a purpose. I use music in my faith. Music is another passion of mine. I love to sing and dance, and I sing at church. I sing with karaoke. And I'm hoping that I can help people with this, help people that are struggling with these issues. And I hope that I can make a difference. Even if I just help a few people, if I can help a lot of people, if I can help anybody. I know there's many other people that are going to have, or that do have, similar platforms talking about similar things. And I want to get to know them, or at least some of them. It's probably hard to get to know all of them, but to make connections with other people who are talking about similar things, people who've been on this platform longer, people who I can learn from. I hope I can learn things, and I hope that I can help others, even as I learn. But that's why I'm here and doing this. And I hope that means something to somebody. And I hope that people will give my new channel a chance. Of course, people can read whatever, however many Substacks they want, but I hope that mine can be one of them if it will do any good. Well, I don't know who will watch this video and what they'll think of it. I was afraid to make a video. It was really putting myself out there more than writing words. Writing words puts myself out there, but I didn't mention any personal experiences. I spoke about other things, more educational things. So I felt like introducing myself and explaining why I made this Substack would be a good idea for a first video. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but that's what I decided to do. So we will see, or I will see how it goes. Whatever you think of this video, I hope that you understand where I'm coming from. And I don't know if there'll be any judgment. This seems like a kinder site than other sites. So I feel more comfortable doing this here than I would on other social media platforms. This platform really seems different, and that's why I decided to try starting my own as a writer. I look forward to seeing who gets anything out of this video and if it helps anyone, and just to get feedback. Feedback is always good, and I appreciate it. And I hope that people will be kind. And if they are not, then they're just not my people. And I'll focus on the people who are kind and who may be able to get something from this. Thank you for watching and listening. God bless you. Take care, and goodbye for now.